everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer Nidu, and today I'm going to be showing you how I made this beautiful monostrap dress for a friend of mine who's celebrating her birthday soon. So if you want to see the behind the scenes, do not go anywhere, stay right here, and don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's go. So I used the last pattern for my last video. I'm going to be linking it up here so you can click and see how I created it. So what I did here was, first of all, you're going to get the shoulder point here, and I marked the shoulder. The shoulder I used here was 18, and of course I marked the front neck width and the neck depth, which was 3 inches by 2. Because it's a stretch fabric, I didn't want to make it 3 by 3, so it doesn't so it won't be too wide. I hope you understand what I mean. So I'm just kind of putting down my markings here for the shoulder, for the neck width, for my armhole length. I used 7 instead of 8 inches because it stretches as well. So I'm just putting down my markings here. If you watch my last video on how I created the pattern, you would understand. So here I'm putting in the bust measurement divided by 4, and I'm going to put what I get there. I didn't put any sewing allowance because this fabric really stretches, so there was no need for me to put any sewing allowance, of course. And then the shoulder slant there, I went down by 1 inch. Yep. And then I'm just trying to make sure I got the bust measurement right. And then I'm going to connect that to my armhole. That's what I did right there, making sure that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, because once you cut, you cannot uncut. Yeah, so I'm just using my chalk to just make lines there to make sure everything is smooth and done properly. Guys, always double check. You cannot just check once. Make sure you double check that your measurements are right and that your markings are correctly done. So the next thing I did here was to get the waist measurement, which was 17 for this client, and I marked it there, 17. And of course, I had divided the waist by 4. So I'm just making sure everything is on the same line, 17 inches from the shoulder down. And then after I do that, I'm going to divide the waist measurement by 4, and I'm going to put it there. I did not add an allowance. Don't forget, no allowance was added here. Yeah, and then I'm going to connect that from the chest line to the waistline, the bust line to the waistline. Yeah. Please make sure you check out my last video. So here, I'm so sorry that I didn't even know it was that my camera was not taking, I'm getting everything. So here I just measured the waist to the hip, and I used 8 inches, depending on the height of the person. 8 inches. If the person's like an average height, you do 7. Person is like tall, you do like 9. But I did 8 inches for her. Please always make sure you measure your client from waist to hip. I have a video on how I take measurements. So here I'm just measuring her hips divided by 4. Again, I did not add any allowance because the fabric stretches really well. Like, the stretch level is like intense. And then I'm connecting the waist to the hip here, just giving it a good curve. You can use your pattern ruler, but I was just eyeballing it. Yeah. So that's what I did here, and I connected waist to hip. So from the last video, I got my waist to hip, and now this is the length. Because my client is really tall, so the dress was 60 inches in length. So I'm connecting the hip to the length of the dress. And what I did was do the measurement I had on my hip all the way down, because I just wanted it to look very tapered, you know, and all that. No allowance added again. No allowance was added. So it's just me here measuring to make sure that I have 11 inches from the hip all the way to the end of the fabric. And I'm just going to connect it with my ruler here. Yeah, I'm just connecting it with my ruler here, making sure that, you know, it's exactly 11 inches so it doesn't look crooked. Always make sure your measurements are done correctly, guys. It's very, very important that it's done correctly. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and just cut it out. I'm just cutting it out here. So this is how it looks when I was done cutting the front and the back. Right side facing. Yeah, it has just one sleeve because the picture you see, the dress really has one sleeve, like the inspirational picture. Yeah, so this is how it looks. It's looking all good. Look at the inside. I love this fabric. So this is just me sewing the fabrics together, sewing the shoulder and the sides. I'm going to attach the sleeves, and yeah, it's just me putting everything together using 1/2-inch seam allowance. Guys, this is the finished look of the dress. Don't you just love it? I really like it. The fabric, everything, check, check, check. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget what I always say, what God cannot do does not exist. See you in my next video. Bye.